Hi guys! So today we're going to be doing another 3 cards for my fall series, and we're going to be using Fawn's Thanks a Latte stamp set and dies. I've already cut and colored all of my images. I'm also going to be using for this first card the MFT Harvest Mouse. I'm going to use a couple of those images as well with my little coffee cups. And we're going to get started by just doing some white heat embossing of the little faces on the coffee mugs. And I think I'm using, I want to say the Wow fine detail embossing powder on these guys. And I'm going to just do one of each of the faces that comes in the stamp set, heat set that on, and then get started making my card base. It's just a basic 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 side folding card. And I'm using the Nitpicky by Fawn paper. Just going to trim that down, a little panel on there, and then a piece of the yellow from that same paper pack going across in the other direction. I took one of my embossing folders with like polka dots on it, and I just ran it through my panel that my coffee cups are going to be sitting on top of. And we're going to get started with that panel, just putting it all together. So I wanted something for my coffee cups to stand on, so I just took another piece of the Nitpicky paper and made a circle, cut it in half, and that's going to be basically what the little coffee cups are going to stand on. Then I'm going to cut like a little piece off the top there, just a little slit, and I'm going to slide in one of my little mice from the Harvest Mouse, My Favorite Things. And this is me just kind of stretching my stamps, making them go further. So I wanted, this is obviously a coffee themed, so I got rid of the fall elements. I didn't color all the way down because I knew I was going to be sitting him in the cup, popping him up. And then I'm going to take one of the whipped cream from the Thanks a Latte set, and I'm going to stick it on his head instead of the leaf up there. He's got a little whipped cream dollop on his head. And then I'm going to just start piling up my cups one on top of the other. And I'm going to kind of position them like they're kind of precariously on top of each other. So these mice are actually, lots of your stamps probably in your sets are very versatile. You can use them for all different types of holidays, and you just have to figure out how to cut off what you don't need or cover up what you don't need. So like instead of a leaf on his head, he could be holding a giant heart for Valentine's Day. Like this, he's got the whipped cream up there. There's all kinds of different things that you could do with your stamps to try to you know, stretch them a little bit further so that they're for more than just the fall season. So basically I just popped up my 3 cups, and now this is the mouse from the set that's carrying the barrel of fruit on his head, and I just cut the fruit barrel off, and I'm going to pop him up, and he's just going to be sitting right next to those little cups, and he's going to have these 3 marshmallows balancing on his head instead of the barrel of fruit. So again, a lot of different things that you can do with your stamps, alter them to make them fit whatever scene you want to put them in. So he's got 3 little marshmallows on his head, and then to balance out the other side, I'll put a couple of little elements on the other side. So even though this is still a fall themed card, it is still also a coffee card, and I had to put a little pumpkin in there because this is still my fall series. So I'll put a pumpkin on the other side and another little marshmallow over there. And yeah, this is my first card for my second video in the fall series. So next video, I'm trying to do every other, so you guys don't get so tired of seeing nothing but fall cards out there. So like my last video was the mermaid cards, and my next video will be something different. It won't be fall, and then the next one after that will probably start the Halloween cards. So now we're just going to put our panel on our card, and I realized that I didn't like the fact that that yellow wasn't going all the way across, so I cut another piece, and I'm just going to attach that. Because you're not going to see where it's not a continuous piece, because my middle panel, which I will pop up, is going to be covering that little mark right there, so you can't tell it's not one piece. And I'm just using up some of my fun foam that is just the scraps, and I did that throughout this video. Whenever I popped something up, I just used my fun foam, that's my scrap pieces. And there it is. Now I'm just going to put some little enamel dots on there. And I totally forgot to put the sentiment on the card in the video. I did put one on there, and you'll see it in the picture after the card is all done. So basically just took a piece of brown cardstock and white embossed my sentiment, which you'll see right now. There it is. Thanks a Latte. Totally forgot that. So now we're going to move on to card number 2. And for this one, I am going to leave a link to Jennifer McGuire's video in the description below. She did a much better job showing how to do these. These cards are, it's an old Peekaboo panel card. These used to be popular quite some time ago, and then kind of fell out of favor. And then I saw her video and I thought, well, I want to try it again. It's been a really long time since I made one. So I will link to her video so you can see a much better way to do this than me. I'm not very good at this step-by-step stuff. So basically I'm just taking the panels, which the dimensions were in the beginning of the 3 different panels that you need. There's a front, an inside, and a back piece. And then when you're putting them together, your circles all need to line up. So your front panel is going to have a circle. You need to figure out where it is, or square, heart, whatever you want to put there. And then each panel, the inside panel, also is going to need them to match up. So you need to line them up, which is what I was doing. You also need whatever you're going to be using inside. So 2 circles, a little bit bigger than the original holes that I had die cut out. And then I'm going to take the panels and decorate them. So I'm just going to do some basic ink blending with some brushed corduroy and old paper, just to give it, some color so it's not white. And I'm not going to make you sit through this because you've probably seen about 1 million people do ink blending. So once I get done with the ink blending, I'm just going to spritz it with a little bit of water and let it dry. And then I will start working on putting my pieces onto my little finished circles. The assembly for this card, like I said, go see Jennifer McGuire's. She does a step-by-step with 3 different cards showing you exactly how to put it together way better than I could. This is just showing you different ideas for decorating these kind of cards. So I wanted to make a get well card, and I thought using, instead of coffee in those cups from the Thanks a Latte, I would put some soup. So this is like tomato soup with a get better, and I realized it needed to be more in the middle, so I'll have to glue that back down. My fox isn't going to be able to be in the circle, obviously, because the window is going to be sliding by that, so you can't, he can't be in the window. So he's going to be sitting on the other side. And to put these panels together so that you can make the peekaboo, you need to take your back panel and your inside panel, and this is me just fiddling around trying to figure out the best way to line them up so that they are even. And I ended up just biting the bullet and attaching it this way, and I ended up being able to line it up without too much trouble. But that's your back panel at that place where you scored it at that I think it was 5 1/4 against your inside panel. And then you need to attach your inside panel to your front panel, and this again is a thing that you need to line up. So you got to kind of try to glue might be a better option, because it'll give you just a few seconds to move it around if you're not sure you can get it in there. But then this is the whole thing completed, and when you open the card, the inside changes. So when it's closed, you're going to see one image, and when it's open, you're going to see another image. So you need to kind of figure out which image you want where. So here I'm showing you that you need to put in the image that you want to see on the front of the card first, because once you've attached that one, which in order to line it up, I just kind of put it in the circle and then pushed it against the back panel. That other panel I used glue, which you can do for the front as well. It's probably easier. I realized after I did it that it was going to be easier. So I wanted the feel better on the front and the warm wishes on the inside. So that way, this is me just trying to get it to move more freely. And then also another tip from Jennifer McGuire, which I did do, was to take a piece of just regular tape, nothing fancy, and put it on that inside one so it will slide right over the top and it won't get caught. That's her little trick, and it does work. I did end up doing that. Now, to finish decorating it, I put just wanted a couple of frames around my circles, and then I'm going to place my fox on the inside of the card, and I got to fiddle around with him for a minute to try to figure out where he's going to fit best, where you're not going to see him through the window from the outside. And I think right about there is probably good. And I'm just going to glue him down. And this card's nothing fancy. It's just a quick kind of fun card. Just to get well card. Now I'm going to put some of the, again, the Lawn Fawn nitpicky card on the front. I didn't like how much space there was with nothing on the side there, so this was how I'm covering that up. But I don't want to cover up my big hugs, so I'm making it real thin so it's only that part. I also had this real pretty kind of fall colored glitter paper, and I cut just a little strip of that, and I'm going to adhere that next to the brown nitpicky paper. And in this stamp set, it comes with a little heart and a leaf and a snowflake that you can also put on your cards. So I am going to just stamp the heart a few times on the front. I'm going to color it in with my Copic markers. I think I'm going to use R27 and R29 to color them in. Put a little glitter on top of that with my Nuvo glitter pen, and then that will finish up this card after I finally finish coloring it in. So to get back to my other cards that I'm going to be doing, I receive every month a kit from Hedgehog Hollow, and they sent some really pretty flowers this time. And since I have some friends and family that are not feeling well, I'm going to be making some cards, flower cards. So that will be my next video. Will be a couple of get well and sympathy cards, because even though nobody likes to make them or wants to make them, you kind of have to every once in a while. So I'll be doing a video on that. My last card in this set is a slider card. Now my idea was to use, I really wanted to use this coffee embossing folder, and so I did, and it's that's going to be my, basically, I think if you look at it, it's kind of like the wallpaper, and then the other piece is the table that my little coffee cup is going to be sitting on. So I already cut the little slits, and that's just a paper, not paper, a Ziploc bag that I cut to fit inside of my little slits there. And now I'm just attaching it with a stapler. So that is the sliding mechanism. And I'm just going to trim down that back piece because you don't need that extra. Just get rid of that. And there it is. And then I'm going to make a pull tab. So this will be basically like what would be considered like the wallpaper behind, and then the other piece is like my table. Now I'm just going to measure out my pull tab to see how far out I want it to go. And this card is going to be a little bit longer because of that pull tab than the normal 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I don't have a pull stamp, so I just took my white gel pen and I wrote pull. Sometimes you don't need a stamp for everything. And then I'm just going to take my stapler and staple that to the back as well. And once you do this, I mean, you can use this type of card for all kinds of stuff, but as you can see, when you pull that, the plastic slides across. Now, you need to make kind of a channel for it because you don't want it to flop around. So I'm just using, again, scraps of fun foam that I'm just throwing on the back of this to prop it up and make a channel for my pull tab. So I'll just cut some pieces and then place some tape You don't want any tape to get on your pull tab or too close to your pull tab. So for this little end right here, I wanted to glue it down, but I definitely don't want that tape to get caught on the pull tab, or else you're not going to be able to pull it. So now I'm just going to place that on, and works great. I can pull it back and forth. And there's my, I guess it would be considered like a table or some type of surface that my little cups are going to sit on. I'm going to place down some foam on the bottom because, again, you don't want anything to obstruct your sliding mechanism. And then these are just kind of figuring out where my placement's going to be and how tall a piece of acetate I'm going to need. So I'm going to cut this down, and then I'm going to attach it with some I'm using score tape because you want to use like something that's really going to hold it. You don't want it to just slide off. So I don't think cheap tape or glue would work very well because you need it to really hang on to that cut. And then I'm going to put my table down, add some more score tape to the acetate piece so that I can attach my little man cup. And I know they're a little bit crooked, but that's because I want them to touch each other like they're giving each other a little smooch. So I'm going to pop up my girl cup, kind of tilt her to the other side, and then they're there. Now I'm just going to attach all my little embellishments and my sentiment for the marshmallow to my cocoa. I'm going to put a whole bunch of marshmallows and a couple hearts there in the middle. I think these are so cute. These cups, you can do so many things with these. Well, I'm a coffee nut anyway, but I love making little coffee cards. This one's supposed to be for my hubby. So I'm just going to pop up my little marshmallows. And then pop up my sentiment, put a couple hearts on there. That would be cute if she was surrounded by marshmallows. Especially because of that sentiment, it's just so adorable. So I'm going to trim down my sentiment, and I'm going to pop it up. And that is going to complete my third card. There they are. So I just want to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out my videos. I really, really do appreciate it. I hope you get some good ideas from these. There's all kinds of different ideas out there right now for fall cards, and so I thought this would be kind of fun. You arrange those so you can see them and pull my little guy together. I'll leave a link, like I said, at the bottom for Jennifer McGuire's video, so for that Peekaboo card, and also a link to my other fall cards at the end. And thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Have a great week. See you soon. Bye-bye.